Alright, so Boomer Sooner, everybody. Well, it's about 27 hours until kickoff for the big game, and you know what game I'm talking about? The Notre Dame versus Oklahoma. Tickets are virtually unable to attain right now. Those that are going for over $4,000. And all, but anyway, the situation I want to address is all this talk about Notre Dame being legitimate. Folks, Notre Dame does not have a claim to legitimacy. Yeah, they're undefeated. They're in the top five. Uh, but where is their marquee win? Okay, I did some studying. They don't have a marquee win. If you say Michigan, then that destroys your whole argument because Michigan was beaten badly by Alabama in the first week. I mean, their record is not that of legitimacy. I mean, out of their 6 games that they have played, Notre Dame has only won by 3 to 7 points. In fact, let me give you just an inside peek. In the first week, they beat Navy 50 to 10. That's Navy. Everybody beats Navy. They beat Purdue 20 to 17. They survived Purdue. It's more like it. Michigan State, they beat 20 to 3. Not all that big of a win. They struggled with Michigan State. They beat Michigan 13 to 6 after Alabama whipped Michigan. Next week, Notre Dame beats Miami 41 to 3. And if you say that's a marquee win, folks, Miami is not the Miami of the old days. Kansas State put 55 on Miami. Okay, you can't call a win over Miami marquee. Then, after Miami, they played Stanford. They should have lost that game. The Stanford running back was in the end zone. However, because it was in South Bend, Indiana, of course Notre Dame gets the call, but they still they still win only by 7 in overtime, 20 to 13. And then last week, they barely beat BYU 17 to 14 by 3. Now, you can talk about Notre Dame's offense. Oh, they've got 300-pound guys on the offensive line. They're a good running team. What gets me is where's the defense? I mean, surviving basically every week by 3, by 7. Where's the defense? Folks, I'm telling you, Notre Dame is not legitimate. Oklahoma. Let's just focus now on Oklahoma. The first couple of weeks, the first 3 weeks, I'll give you the argument. Oklahoma was not legitimate. Okay, I don't know what happened, but they go down to UTEP. Yeah, they win 24-7. They stink it up. They put 60-plus points on a 1AA opponent, Florida A&M. Everybody's going to put 60-plus on A&M. Third week, after a bye week, we saw just how vulnerable Oklahoma was. Kansas State, who is legitimate, and let me just give a shout out to Kansas State and Coach Bill Snyder. Guys, I may be a Sooner fan, but I'm for you guys too. You guys are legitimate. Good luck this week against Texas Tech. You guys deserve what you get. You are a great team, and you are legitimate. Anyway, Kansas State comes in and beats Oklahoma 24 to 19. There is a marquee win for Kansas State. You want to know another marquee win for Kansas State? How about 55 points on West Virginia at West Virginia? How about Kansas State being undefeated this year going into the game with Texas Tech Saturday? In fact, I'm going to say I'd put Kansas State up against anybody, even Alabama, and I'd say Kansas State would win the national championship. But that's a different discussion. I just want to give a shout out to Kansas State. But after that loss to Kansas State, I think it really opened Oklahoma's eyes, because if you look what they've done to Texas Tech, Texas, and Kansas in consecutive weeks, nobody's playing any better football than Oklahoma, special teams, offensively and defensively wise. Texas Tech was held as the best team in the nation on defense. Oklahoma goes down there and puts 45 points on them and destroys that remark. Well, then comes the Red River Shootout, and nobody thought Oklahoma would leave 36-2 at halftime, but they did. And ended up winning big. 60 plus points on Texas, again, 63-21. And then against Kansas, a punt return by Justin Brown, and then from 90 yards, and then a 100-yard kickoff return by Roy Finch for another 100 yards. Two things that has never happened for Oklahoma in its history happened the week before they played Notre Dame. They put up a 52-7 mark on Kansas, and Kansas doesn't even score on the first teamers. Come on, Notre Dame, I think you are into some serious trouble, my friends. But don't worry, you got back up. You just watch college football live, and you'll see your former coach, who led you to the '88 national championship, your last national championship, I might add. But there's Lou Holtz there that says Notre Dame is going to go into Oklahoma and beat the Sooners and go play for the national championship. Good luck. And for these sports announcers that say that Oklahoma will not be able to stop Notre Dame's rushing attack, I'd like to see them tell them that they're not good enough to stop Notre Dame's rushing attack. I'd like to see them go straight up to Jamarcus McFarland or Stacy McGee or David King or Jonathan or Nelson or the whole defensive line of Oklahoma. I'd like them to go up to them and tell them and say, look, you guys are not good enough to stop Notre Dame. Folks, you're just feeding the monster. Bob Stoops has this team ready. They know what's in store. They know when they knock off Notre Dame that they're right back in the national championship hunt. They're probably not going to win the conference championship because, like I said, Kansas State is probably going to go undefeated. However, there could be a rematch in store, Kansas State versus Oklahoma, or a Fiesta Bowl appearance perhaps. Maybe even a trip back to the old Orange Bowl, who Oklahoma is very notorious for winning more than any other team in the college football history, I might add. So, folks, I want to leave you with this. And I'm not saying Notre Dame is not a good team. Okay, Notre Dame is a good team. Okay, but they're just not legitimate. They should not be ranked as high as they are. They should not have their hopes as high as they are about coming into Norman and defeating Oklahoma. Okay, and I'm a man, and I'll say this. If Notre Dame, and you can quote me on this, if Notre Dame comes into Oklahoma Memorial Stadium and defeats Oklahoma, I personally will get on here immediately after the game and I will sing the Notre Dame fight song. That's right. If Notre Dame comes in to Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium and defeats the Sooners, then I will get on here and I will sing their praise and sing the Notre Dame fight song. However, if and when Oklahoma proves that Notre Dame is a fraud, then I don't want to hear any more talk about how Notre Dame is the best team in college football right now. And that goes for you too, Lou Holtz. Anyway, Boomer Sooner, and I can't wait for the big game. College game day is there. Oh, and that's another thing. You see, when college game day is in Norman, Oklahoma just happens to win. Let's see. Oklahoma State knows that. Missouri knows that. And a few other teams know that. Oh, and Notre Dame, if your big thing about your 8-1 against Oklahoma, let it go. Okay, because yeah, you may be 8-1, and the last time you came to Norman, yeah, you beat us 48-0. Okay, that was in your glory days. Your glory days are over, buried, defunct, demolished, no more. When was the last time you won a BCS bowl? When was the last time you won a bowl game, period? When was the last time you finished higher than a 500 PCT record? Yeah, glory days, I think, are very much over. And Oklahoma will prove that to you in just about 27 hours. Boomer Sooner.